All right, four-star diamonds. Let's get this party started. Cute little group today. I love, love, love it. I'm so glad you guys popped on, especially because Super Saturday. I know that throws a mix into it, but you know what? I'm so excited for this call, just like I was sharing with Sharon. I have so many coaches that ask about this and how hard it is to approach a professional that is actually in nutrition and fitness. And so Sharon is going to answer all of our questions today about that. But real quick, I want to let you know who she is. She has been a Beachbody coach for 5 years, which is incredible. You've seen and gone through so many with us growing and progressing. She lives in Texas. She has been married 28 years. Woo! Girl, I love that. As a 22 and a 19-year-old, right now she is an empty nester, so that's obviously a big transition for you. I see a little sad face. Yes. Totally get that. But she was a personal trainer for 10 years before she became a Beachbody coach. So you've been in this industry for 15 years. I'm putting those two numbers together.
Well, yeah. If you count the 5 years I've been a coach,
yeah. Which is
I didn't think of it like that. Yeah.
Yes, they go so well together. So I guess from here, why don't you just start us off with your story and really tell us what it is to be a professional in the industry that you are in.
Okay, cool. Yes, I think my story kind of tells it all. I do get this question a lot from coaches as well about how do I talk to a trainer? And I know this gym down the street that they'd be amazing. And I hear that all the time. My story started with, I was 36 years old, overweight, negative, just not the person I am today. Thank goodness. I was a stay-at-home mom and I had lost myself and my kids and taking care of everybody else. And I just had this light bulb moment. This was before Beachbody, I must admit. I had this light bulb moment that I just didn't want to live like that anymore. I wanted to be healthy. I had would stop and start. I've been on every single diet you could possibly name. I've done it. And I literally just something switched. I'm like, I'm done. And I joined a local boot camp. And at the time my kids were 3 and 5. 3 and 7, sorry. 3 and 7. And so I started working out, loved it, found this passion. I was the cheerleader. I was like, oh my gosh, we can do this. And then we started meeting outside the boot camp and just started this whole awesome group of fit friends. And it came time when my son was going to kindergarten, and we actually moved up here to College Station from Houston. And I needed to go back to work, and I had a college degree, but I never liked anything I did. I was one of those people I would get the job and then I would hate it. And now I know it's because I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur. I got that now, right? I used to think I was just this big quitter. But a friend of mine said, you should become a personal trainer. And I was like, really? And my son was starting kindergarten. I thought, yeah, that'll be awesome because that way I can work out all the time. I can make a lot of money and really help, contribute to the family funds. And I have all this flexibility, right? And it's so funny now, not the case, but I did. I became a trainer. I started working out some friends and stuff. Then I got a job here at the local gym. There's a Gold's Gym here in town. I worked there for a little while. And then I really had this desire to own my own place. And I realized now it was just my desire to have control of my time. So I started at a very small gym and then opened a bigger one and partnered with a yoga instructor and a Pilates instructor, and had both those two locations combined, owned my own place for almost 5 years. And actually found out about Beachbody from a mastermind group that I had joined for fitness professionals. And that's actually where I met my upline coach, Trina Gray, and Vito Lafata, and all these people that I met before Beachbody. And so Trina had reached out to me about coaching. And of course, I have the utmost respect for her, love her to death. And so I signed up, but I didn't really do anything. I signed up in September 2010, sat on it, didn't do anything. And really didn't take hold of the business till January 2012, because I was one of those trainers who thought, I am not going to have my clients doing a home fitness program when I'm trying to pay the overhead of this gym and all that stuff. Okay, so all that brings me to I wanted to give you a little, just the reality of what the trainer life is. And I'm talking specifically about studio owners, not so much big gyms. That's a whole different market. They're into sales and they've got a whole different reality. But trainers, boot camp instructors, independent contractors, studio owners. Their reality is they work a lot. Okay, they work a lot, and they're only paid for the time they're in front of a client. Generally, they do group sessions sometimes to leverage their time a little bit. They work crazy hours. You gotta work when your clients want to work out, right? So you're up at 5 a.m., 4:30. Who knows? I mean, you're just like working whenever they want to work out, and then sometimes in the evening. There's a big gap in the day, usually between like noon and 4, that you don't train so many people. This is just generally, but you really don't have a guarantee of money because you're only working when you're training your clients. Now, if you have an EFT set up and you're getting money that way, and you kind of know, but otherwise you really don't know. And then clients go on cruises, clients quit, clients hurt themselves, clients' husbands get mad that they're going to the gym and not getting results. So, I mean, it's just this roller coaster. And you're constantly trying to find new leads. You're constantly trying to keep up with the market. And most trainers, every trainer I know loves to help people. And that's where I was. I just wanted to help every woman who felt like I felt before I got healthy and fit. So that's why I say now that I fell backwards into fitness, because if I had known Beachbody and if I had been the person I am now, I would have done it as soon as I signed up. I could kick myself for not. But I came to a place in, it was September of 2011. I had an opportunity to get out of my lease. I was tired of the headache. At that point, my daughter, who's my oldest, was a senior in high school. I had missed a lot of stuff because I had to cover that overhead, and I had to work, and I had other trainers and stuff, but you got to manage them, and then maybe they don't show up and you got to go, right? So this is just the reality of a trainer. So I decided in January 2012 that I was going to dive into this. I was going to figure it out, got out of that lease, felt like, I did feel that kind of like, oh my gosh, people would say like, you're going to sell shakes now. I mean, so you have that, trainers have that negativity, I guess is the way to put it. But I didn't care.
It's like a persona. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I just had blinders on. I'm like, I'm going to make this work. My son was starting to play competitive baseball. We were traveling. I wanted to be able to go with him. I had a huge why at that point. And I put blinders on and I dove in, and we didn't have all the training we have now. We just got challenge packs and things like that. So that's kind of, where I was when I initially signed up. Is the reality of a trainer. It's like, there's no way to leverage yourself. You're just working really hard and you're trying to train as many people as you can. And you're not even really, most of them aren't niching down. They're just trying to help everybody. So they're just overloaded. And the only way you can earn more money and pay more of your overhead is if you add more sessions or you bring more people into a group session and you're just working. And again, there's no guarantee. And you can add other trainers, and there's a headache to that. So that's the reality of the small trainer, the boot camp instructor, the studio owner. The fears that a lot of these trainers have, this has been my experience, so this is just my opinion. They are so concerned that their clients will start a home fitness program and they will leave. They will not have them anymore. And then they're scared to death. They're like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do if they don't come, if I don't have people in my gym? They're also very afraid that they're going to lose their brand, whatever that is. Like there is a lot of ego involved in this. And I say that respectfully to any trainers that are listening to this, but I was there. It had to be me writing the workouts. Like there was no way I was going to use something else. It had to come from me. And I don't even know if you're clear on that sometimes, but it's a fear of losing your brand. It's a fear of becoming a Beachbody gym. And just, home fitness programs and Jane Fonda with the leg warmers. And I mean, that's what they are picturing, right? And there's no way a home fitness program works. There's no way, right? There's no way you can get fit doing that. That's the reality. And the other thing is they feel like they don't have any time. So you never want to approach, and I'll go into this a little bit more of how to approach a trainer, but you never want to approach them with the business initially. You don't, because they are swamped. Okay, they are swamped and they cannot put one more thing on their plate. And they're also, with all due respect to them, they're ignorant about it. I mean, we all were like, what do you mean? I'm going to have another business? I have this business. But what? They don't get it. Right. And so you can't approach them that way. The benefits to a trainer of doing this, obviously, I mean, there's so many, as we know, as we continue in it, but they're able to reach outside their zip code. They're able to coach old clients that perhaps moved away or left for whatever reason. They have a more variety with our fitness programs that they can help these clients. They reach outside their zip code, so people they don't have to be face to face with someone, and they can still use their skills of coaching because they're all natural coaches, and trainers love to help people. That's why they get into it. They can also increase their revenue stream. They'll have another revenue stream besides their training and their group training. And it's a way for them to add more people that they work with without adding more sessions. Okay. Because they're already out of time, right? I mean, there's trainers that work 60, 70 hours a week, probably even more than that. Because there's a point where the only way you're going to make more is add more sessions. And you run out of time. They're not seeing their families. They're working weekends. They're missing their kids' plays. They're, things like that. And the other benefit with Beachbody is it's a proven system. And if anybody heard the wake-up call today, it was phenomenal. Danielle was talking about that. Like, it's a proven system that works. So no longer do they have to worry about meal plans and workouts and all that stuff. But again, you don't want to approach a trainer with the fitness programs. You just don't. And I'll tell you why. Making sure I hit on everything here. The best approach with a trainer, first of all, you've got to build a relationship with them. I have so many coaches and they say, I'm going to go down to this gym and sign up this trainer. They're going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. And I always say, why do you think why do you think they're going to be amazing? Well, they've got all these people and da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, don't go in like that, because that's their gym, that's their brand, right? And most trainers they're going to be very reluctant to talk about. So you don't want to come in with the fitness programs. You want to build a relationship with them. And when you do start to talk to them about any of our products, you really want to start with Shakeology. You want to start with the nutrition aspect, because they've got the workouts covered, right? And their ego is in it too. Like they've got it. But most likely their clients are not getting great results. And it happens to all of us. Like you got 10 people in a challenge group, you maybe have 3 or 4 that are really working it. Same thing with a trainer. You may see the same client over and over again, but you see them maybe 2-3 times a week. What are they doing the other days? And so you want to start with that nutrition aspect to ensure that the client's still going to visit the trainer, but they're going to get help because they're going to be drinking Shakeology and getting great nutrition. And so that at least one of their meals is excellent that day. And another thing, you can talk to them about, once you get that going, and I can talk a little bit more about the best way to do that with them. But, you can talk to them about adding online training or adding and talk to them about, do your clients ask you about nutrition? Do you have nutrition supplements that you recommend, or do you send them down to GNC? You've got to, when you're approaching them, you want to just talk to them about, so tell me a little bit about your business. And what you're listening for is the pain points, okay, which they may not give you. And again, that comes down the line as building the relationships. But the pain points for a trainer, as I said before, is running out of hours, limited income. They're not being paid what they're worth. There's no way. I mean, because most trainers are rock stars wanting to help people, and they're not being paid what they're worth. They're working their rear end off. And they're probably, if you broke it down, maybe making $5 an hour, when you think of all the hours that they work. And are they spending enough time with their family? So it's really the same kind of things that you would talk to a prospect about, someone that you thought would be a good coach. The only difference is you have to tread lightly, because it's all about them. And if they own a gym, they are working their rear ends off. So the best thing to do is build a relationship with them. If it's someone that you can schedule an appointment with. You can go in and just talk to them and ask them if they would be open to, trying this nutrition supplement. There's nothing like it on the market, because there's not. I mean, there's no comparison to Shakeology anywhere. We all know that. The best thing to do is get them to try it. And one thing that really works well is if you do have someone that signs up and they have a studio, and I'm actually working with a downline coach now who has a studio. She's nervous about bringing this in. So all we're doing is bringing Shakeology in. And she's going to run she calls it a turkey smackdown, which is such a great name. She does that for Thanksgiving. And so the upgrade is going to be packets of Shakeology. That's the upgrade. So she's going to, have her clients, she's going to package it up. You can package it real cute and real baggy with tissue paper and all that. And that could be an upgrade for people. And she's slowly recommending that because she is in fear of losing her clients. And, I get it. Like, I was there. I totally get that. A couple things to think about as well when you get objections from trainers. And I think because Beachbody is it's a national brand. So basically what they're doing, they're partnering with a national brand, just like they do if they have TRX or if they have BOSU in their studio or any of the other tools that trainers have. So it's not that they have to become this Beachbody gym. And it's just a matter of, that they would be partnering with a national brand. People know the products. They don't have to sell them. They're mostly going to be, in the sense, a retail type thing where they will have their clients. I know they can't just buy a bunch of bags of Shakeology and retail it out of their studio. You can't do that, but they can package them up and use them as upgrades in hopes that their clients will get on Home Direct and get their own account and, get great results. And so then once they start seeing that, there's going to be a, better window for you to start talking more about the business. But I will tell you, this is a very slow process. And this is just me, I have not seen a trainer come in and just go crazy with this business. I've seen many come in and they retail mostly. They have a lot of retail customers. They incorporate it in their challenge groups. One thing that is amazing is the 21-day fix. We all know this, right? But that portion control meal plan is something that you can talk to them about. I've talked to a local gym here about that because they really struggle with how to get their clients to eat right. We all did. We all do. You can give somebody a meal plan. Most likely they're not going to follow it. But if they have these containers, another thing is when you get to the point where you're talking about the fitness programs, they can see it as homework for their clients, right? Or as, a client that's moved away, it's a way for them to coach that client and still have contact with them. So know that a trainer, generally, in my opinion, is going to start slower. They're probably going to retail a lot. They're going to be very slow at building a team, although you can talk to them about bringing their trainers, if they have some, in as coaches on their team. Like their business could sign up as a coach, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, Brittany. But their business could sign up as a coach, and then their trainers could sign up underneath.
Yeah. I've seen it done. You should probably check policies and procedures. Typically it's the gym owner, that they just put their name there.
And so it's a way for them to help their trainers earn more income as well, because their trainers are going to become coaches and help their clients that they're training get on Shakeology. And so it becomes, they're building a team without realizing they're building a team. And we all know the beauty of that, the 3 vital behaviors and what can happen when you start building a team. So the thing is that you really do have to just approach them with kid gloves. You've got to build a relationship. Just because they're in fitness, I've seen people get so excited. And I did this at first. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get all these trainers, because I knew all these trainers here in town, right? And actually all 4 of my diamonds are trainers, which is so funny. And I always joke that trainers make me crazy. And I am a trainer. So, Please don't take that wrong. But they're so protective of their brand. And I think I've said that. It's just something that it's a fear they have, and you just have to approach it very slowly. Now, if you can get them to do the 21-day fix, like, hey, if you just try this program and try Shakeology, and I just would love your expert opinion. If you have that kind of relationship with them, if they would do it. And you could also tell them, you know what, if you do it, you can get a lot of moves out of this, like for your own boot camp classes. You can steal some of these moves and, really wow your clients with them. So a lot of them like that for that reason. I did that at first. I dabbled. The first challenge pack that I sold I invited a bunch of my clients at the time to do Chalene Extreme. It had just come out, and I loved it. I still love that program. I think it's amazing. And we did that, and I had a lot of my clients purchase that program and do it. And I used a lot of the moves in my classes, because I was doing the program not consistently, right? But I did it and just used a lot of those moves. So it kind of helped you a little bit. It definitely helps them see that this is not Jane Fonda and, Reeboks with the straps and stuff like that. It's come a long way. But again, having said all that, the best way to start a studio or a trainer, once you've built a relationship with them and once you've seen that they're possibly interested in either adding online training or having, a nutrition supplement for their clients, then you just start with Shakeology. You really just start with Shakeology. Don't even talk about the fitness programs. And, you can even say, I wrote down some things you could say to them, like, the business side may not be for you, may not be a good fit right now, but I know the products would help your clients. Would you be open to trying them out? And the downline coach that I'm working with, here's the other kicker. There's this expert syndrome that trainers have, right? Because they're experts. And when I was a trainer, like I'd go to a cocktail party or I'd meet people somewhere and they'd say, what do you do? And I go, I'm a personal trainer. And they go, oh my gosh. And they actually start touching themselves like, oh my gosh, I got to lose weight. I need you. All of a sudden you're up on this pedestal. And I have to tell you, it feels good. It feels good because and it should, because as trainers, we study, we work hard, we know our stuff, right? And we know how to motivate people. But you have this kind of gap when you start bringing your clients on as a coach, if you're acting like an expert, okay? And I went through this. A lot of my initial coaches, were clients, and they never did the business because they didn't think they could because I was a trainer. There was this huge gap. So that's something else to think about. But the pain points with trainers, again, just talking to them about that, just like you would anybody else. So, and basically just saying, so tell me about your business, and bringing up the online training aspect and being able to reach outside your zip code. So you're able to increase your income without adding more sessions. And this is not something that happens overnight. It's just like with any awesome coach prospect you're talking to, you're really not going to be, it's going to be the same. Trainers are not going to just jump in and know that they do move slowly. Typically, they really do. It's a lot of retail, and it has to get to a point where they really feel that need, like I'm missing my kids' play, or they just need more income. They need to pay off bills, whatever it is for them. For me, and I always tell trainers this when I'm talking to them, I say, you're not going to do the business the way I do. You're not going to be taking sweaty selfies and putting yourself out there. It's totally different. And you can even say, I see this fitting in for you like this. So really more of a consultant, if you can have that posture with them, and saying, I understand the business part of that may not be for you right now, but I know the products are. And we all know that our clients come and see us maybe 2-3 times a week. And this is a way to help them get better results. And we know this is a good product, and we're not sending them down to GNC for God knows what's in that stuff, right? So know that trainers start slow. You got to build a relationship, and it's going to be mostly retail at first. But if you can be patient with them and help them get started with maybe a short challenge, like a 5-day challenge that's an upgrade for their clients, get them trying the product if you can, and be very patient, because they can be amazing coaches because they're natural coaches. So that's really all I had. I'd love to answer any questions you guys have, and whatever.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Vic, what questions do you have, girlfriend?
So we kind of talked about before the recording started, about like how some of my my coaches personally have, maybe they've been intimidated by talking to an instructor or whatever, but they're either fearful of what they'll say about Shakeology or whatever, because I know I'm not trying to stereotype by any means, and every instructor is different. But I know that CrossFit instructors have, said that Shakeology is not good for you, or you shouldn't drink Shakeology or whatever. So, I mean, obviously people like that you wouldn't want on your team anyways, just saying. But how would you come across, or how would you tell your coaches about how to release that or get rid of that intimidation that others bring that could potentially be a good fit for their team?
It goes back to the way we would tell them with anybody that's a negative. You just consider the source. Like CrossFit is an animal all by itself. Okay. CrossFit is a tribe, and those people are fierce with CrossFit, which is amazing. And that's great. I know there's some CrossFitters that are coaches, but that's a whole nother tribe. And they are so, into the WODs and all that stuff. And a lot of times they will completely reject the home fitness programs. But it was funny. I was sharing with Vicki earlier that I actually joined a CrossFit gym right after I closed my gym. My next door neighbors opened one. It's a great gym. It's amazing. And I went, and at the same time I was doing Insanity, because Insanity was the very first program that I did, cover to cover, basically. And at the time, I'm 51 now, so I was probably 48, 49 then. I was kicking butt because I had the cardio stamina from Insanity. And there were people, these college kids, because I live in a college town, falling all over the place, not able to keep up. And I could do it. And I just thought that was so funny, and I would giggle every time I went in there. Now, for me personally, CrossFit wasn't for me, and especially as a trainer, I was like, oh my gosh, some people, they were going to hurt themselves, so I couldn't do it. But to answer your question, you have to just, it's the same with anything else. You just shake it off. Like, your coach has a story, her own story with Shakeology and with Beachbody and all the other things beyond just the fitness products, the community, the incredible support, the amazing company that we're all a part of. They just have to shake it off. And it's the process of talking to people and not worrying about the outcome. You can never worry what someone's going to say. You're just going to, present it to them and invite them in. And just be about it. Show up, look amazing, be a product of the product. And people are going to realize, that stuff works, right? What are you doing? I mean, I get that from people. And then when you tell them that doesn't mean they're going to go out and buy it, but they're like, oh, okay. So you never know, maybe 3 or 4 years down the road. I think personal development, getting used to rejection, that's a huge thing. And I mean, when a coach is having a problem like that, I'm like, personal development, what are you reading?
Well, in general, they need personal development because being rejected really takes a toll on you all the time.
It does. I had this conversation, and this is probably outside the scope of what we're talking about, but it does if you're married to the outcome. If you're married to the outcome and you expected that person to say yes and they don't, you're crushed. You can't do that. I tell my coaches all the time, you just have to put it out there, and you just have to invite people, because you and I both know as you go further in this business, like, I'm bulletproof. Like, nobody can tell me this doesn't work. I mean, this has changed my life. I used to work my rear end off at my gym to earn half of what I earn in a week now with Beachbody. And I've been able to help so many more people. And I've been able to, help. I can travel and see my kids anytime I want. I have the freedom I always wanted, but I'm still in fitness, and so it's a process, and especially with trainers. And I really think this may sound awful, but when I meet a brand new trainer, like the ink isn't even dry on their certification yet, I don't talk to them about Beachbody because they're out to save the world. I was going to save every woman out there. And, you know, when a client would quit, I was like, what? You know, like, how can you not do this? So I don't even talk to them. And it's the ones that are a little bit older, they're a little seasoned, not even an age thing, but they've been doing it longer. They're seasoned. They realize, wow, this is not what I thought it would be. I am not making the income that I thought I would make. And I am missing my kids, or I'm, you know, not seeing my wife or my husband or whatever it is. And the second part of that is, as you get older and you're working out that much, or you're training, or you're a group fitness instructor, your body's going to ache. I mean, it can only do so much, and they get overtrained. They start having injuries. And when you get injured and you can't train, there's your business. It's gone, right? But you could be, I mean, we've got a coach on our team who, she had to have some surgery, some minor surgery, but she was out for a while. And she's like, if I didn't have Beachbody, I wouldn't have been able to make it, you know? So that's the other aspect of that is, you know, what happens if all this goes away? What happens if your gym closes and all your clients went away? Or you get in your 50s, like, hello, you're in your 50s, and what are you going to do then? You know, so if you can get them thinking about that, and again, it's not easy, and it's a process, and it's got to be someone that's been doing it a little while, or someone who's really feels like they're missing out on their life, just like anybody else, you know, just like anybody else.
Right.
But just tread with caution when it comes to the fitness programs, because they tend to go, I'm not doing that. You could tell I could talk about this forever.
You actually could.
I could. Today I was like, well, I better write down some notes, you know, because I should look organized, but I really could. I mean, this is a subject that, I mean, I lived it. I can completely tell you.
But I love the fact that you said start with a relationship, building a relationship, because you're absolutely right. They are bombarded with every multi-level marketing company out there. And it's just something else. Yeah. And so if you can build the relationship, like I remember when I was a trainer, same thing, out to accomplish the world, right? And, but my own nutrition and fitness went down the crapper. And I say that because I couldn't work out in the gym anymore. And I was like, wait a second, I've always been a gym girl. And it was so funny because I knew Jeremy and he told me about Beachbody and I was like, yeah, whatever. And because I'm like, I didn't know what it was. I mean, we're talking about Luca. I mean, they all you just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. And so finally he said that. I know, and it made sense for me when I was actually training, because I was like, you're right, I actually need to work out at home to make sure that I stay where I need to be, because nobody wants to be trained by the fat trainer, right? Sure. And I ended up doing 21-day fix, and it got in the best shape of my life. Like, I realized that I putted around that gym and just kind of like, yabba, did some leg presses, and just kind of did that thing. I'm like, oh, I got a good workout in. I did an hour and a half. And I could go home and do 30 minutes and kill my body and looked amazing. So I think if you just kind of talk about like, hey, what are you doing personally, for your own fitness? Because I know it's so hard. Most people that work in a gym actually train in a different gym, or they go do CrossFit or do something out of it, so they're not in that same transition.
Yeah, exactly.
So the 21-day fix, you're absolutely right, is like the go-to with it, because nutrition is what it's all about. And then they can learn that they can do some of their programs also at home.
Absolutely. And it's a process. So just be patient, just like you would with any other coach.
Yeah.
Lead with nutrition, lead with Shakeology, and just start there.
Yep.
Don't talk about coaches and building teams, and don't go there. You'll lose them right away.
Is there any other questions that you have, Miss Vic, for Sharon?
I know she's the only one.
I
guess
know.
People can comment below the video.
I think she answered it. She did a great job explaining everything. And
I love it. Well, I just want to close with saying, obviously, thank you, Sharon. This was an amazing topic. And just like we said, everybody asks about it because it's that untapped field that we're like, okay, how do I get more involved in that? So thank you for speaking on that today. It's
sure.
You're welcome. And you are the professional, which I love that. But let me also just finish with, one thing that Carl said at Super Saturday in the video. And I just want to touch on this because I know you ladies coming back from Super Saturday and you're rejuvenated and you're so excited. just remember to stay in phase one, like he said. Plant the seed, because you are the experts no matter what. And you will be the experts on January 1st, obviously. But if you continue to talk about the business right now as you are experts in this business, you will also be the expert when it comes to money January 1st. And they're like, how do I get more money? Right? They'll look to you to sign up to be part of your team, not just a challenger. They'll lead with that foot, and then they'll get amazing results, and then they'll be hooked forever. So I'm just going to challenge you ladies to do exactly that. Stay in phase one. It's just like I told my 5-star diamonds. I was at the Huntington Beach Super Saturday. Raina Odell stood up and told us her story, which was incredible. I've never heard her story.
Oh,
she's amazing. And she said, honestly, I asked, so before I was in the top 10, I went to Amy Silverman and I said, hey, how are you where you're at? Like, tell me your secret sauce. And Amy's reply was, you know what? I stay in phase one. She's like, what? That's it. I stay in phase one. I stay with the 3 vitals. I become the best me, and I attract greatness, and I attract people that want to change, and I attract this. And that was her response. So Raina led with that, and now she's in the top 10. So Carl's message is so deep because it is. It's truly about you, becoming a better you. You will attract nutrition fitness professionals because you are the expert, but you'll also attract another clientele as well. So just wanted to sum that up. Take Carl's message to heart, because I promise you that is the secret sauce in this business.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. And did you notice my hammer and chisel?
Oh, I want that. I can't wait for that. Oh, it's so exciting.
And we have less than a minute, so that's what I'm going to leave you. I have the pants on too. They're pretty cool. Sorry to tease you all, but I don't have the hat, clearly. But love to see your beautiful faces today. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And thank you, Vicki,
Thank
for
you.
asking questions and being part of this. It was incredible. You both have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to both of you soon, okay?
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, girls. Bye.